So, my name is Jordan Wright, 23, and I'm making a documentary. The documentary, very simply, is about the transition. A transition that you don't get taught in school or even in uni or by your parents. It's from sitting down to standing up. It's time to learn to be on your own in the real world as what is considered to be an adult. In this documentary, I go in with a single focus. I throw in the term adult freedom, and I ask the person what it means to them, the crucial choices for them that led them to a destination that they would call adult or free, maybe neither.
What do you hope to learn from this whole sort of documentary?
Why people end up settling, potentially, why some people, why you get that, why people make a choice, why do you just come out here and take all these steps and learn to get a big degree and commit to something that takes a lot out of you, just to drop it and go home and abandon it and that's it. Why did you ever have the ambition if there wasn't something larger at play? Was it just to find yourself, or to bide time, or to just escape where you were from and how trapping it was? There's a multitude of different reasons, but I'd just really like to know what people go through in this process. There. No. So right now we're just taking a walk down to see our first two interviewees, Will and Xander, both in their early 20s, and they've both just come from a 0-hour contracts job at a very popular local bar. They're now low management, so some guarantee, but I feel they would really have a unique view to put across for this video. Considering one went to uni and one didn't, they both ended up back here at the same place doing the same thing. Effect?
I think a lot of the time, you talk about adult freedom. When you're an adult, what we call as an adult, maybe we're adults. Well, we are adults. I just don't feel like one. It's you look at how free you were when you're a kid. I don't see the same thing anymore in kids. Back at where I lived, you just get it, just do shit, just get into trouble, just be a little shits basically, and have a bit of fun. Go to school, come back, do whatever, and then you look back on that and you think, well, adult freedom, well, it's the aspects of it's the whole thought of having that freedom. It's just what you perceive as it as you come back to it. It's what you perceive as freedom, and about that point when you're with your gut, I don't know, it's just moving out isn't freedom. It's just more fucking expensive.
Yeah, but realistically, in the eyes of the majority, that is the freedom. When you first get out of that, teenage sort of thing, the freedom is I don't want someone telling me what to do anymore. I want to do what I want to do, and I think that's why a lot of people go to university in general. It's I'm getting far away from them all. It's my own independent life.
That's free.
What you
would consider is free, and is there a certain amount of success that gets you there, or is it almost a state of mind? Is it just achieving enough happiness that you're I just feel free, I'm.
Yeah, if you're talking about money, you could get, like you've just said, you could get to a certain point and just have it all. I've got the house, I've got the
what do I do now?
Because this is for some people, that's what people drive towards.
Yeah, that's what they want.
That's their drive, because that's
the shit around.
What you want is what you could idolise as freedom, really, couldn't you? The things I want to achieve in life,
then I'll more drive towards money. Can sort of that person's
you could get to a certain stage and have it all.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Jordan was saying, and then just go, do you know what, actually, what all I've actually wanted to do this whole time is do this, and like that. You could turn and you'd be that's how I'd feel free now. I'm done with all this.
In many ways, would you say it's trying to cut through the shit and to actually just clear your mind
to a
enough to
point
be
where you
like,
can.
you know what, this is what I'd be happy with as my personal freedom. This.
I've got the money
And
to
as
do
an
it, I've got
adult,
this to
yeah,
do it,
no one can question it. I'm seen as legitimate enough.
Yeah, I'm happy
And
doing it.
yeah,
It makes me happy to do this.
like my parents aren't
Yeah.
ashamed to say that I do this. I've still
Yeah.
got ties with everybody. Like, no, I'm not saying you have to be a pillar of the community, but
Well,
you're
if
not.
you want
You're
to
not.
be a pillar of the community,
If that's what you
your
decide,
freedom
yeah,
was,
right.
then
Yeah.
you could do
Yeah.
that. But I know what you're saying. Like,
So, ending on what I went through with Will and Xander, we found that largely financial motivation and kind of going astray in your teen years led them to a job that they were happy with. They seemed to largely be growing out of. And now we enter on to a new interview. A friend Will and his girlfriend Carissa who have been in a relationship for like a year or two now, and are facing a difficult choice in the fact that she'll be moving away to Morocco for 10 months, whereas he is happy to stay here or to carry on the path he's on, which he's not too sure about. The way maturity may have affected that, a lot of people end up stopping or doing something different due to their relationship or due to romantic ties. So to see the way they're going to tackle this might be a signifier of maturity more than anything else. But like, did you feel like you made the choice to cut the tether when others didn't, and thus did you grow from it in a way they haven't? Because some people still, I would say, are stuck in that very high school attitude, that bubble.
They like a comfort zone and they will not leave it. Some people just won't do it, whereas I like to think I'm not a comfort zone sort of guy. I'll put myself in situations where I've got no idea. I didn't do bar work, and then I went into one of the leading bars in Leicester.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, screw it. I really like this place, and it looks like a pretty badass job to be at, and it's hard work, but I'm gonna go for it. I've never done it, but I'm fine with it now. I can make loads of cocktails. I'm fine with food service. My socialising's so much better now. Just chatting to general people. I struggled with that because I was a gamer. I did struggle to talk to people that I didn't know, but now it's just like second nature now.
Whenever I see, well, I haven't seen her in about 2 years, but my friend that decided that staying in Anstey, getting engaged, living, working in the same place, I was talking to her and it was really bizarre because I was saying I've moved literally 20 minutes down the road and I have a great time. I'm so free, I can do this, I can get up and get a train somewhere, I can go fly out somewhere, wherever I fancy. And she was like, oh no, she's like, oh, I think this is it for me now, I think I'm stuck here
Settled.
now. I think she was like, she actually said the words, I think I'm stuck, and I was like, well, you're not stuck at all, you can do it. She's like, no, I don't think I can. And I think that's she's probably just not brave enough. She probably
Is it more the mentality?
Yeah, I think she probably is too worried of things failing, that if she does go see the world or do this or go to new places, try out a new job, try out a new city, she's probably worried that it will fail.
And that's what
she won't get married and have children.
That's what I don't want you to feel like going to Morocco as well. That's what I needed to make sure, because you were panicking about it, and I don't think you would have gone if I wasn't there to be like, you've got to just settle down. This, you need to do this.
Yeah.
I think adult freedom for me is to be able to do stuff for other people, because as you are an adult, you are you're put into doing different things and different skills, and you can do stuff for people then. And I think being an adult is doing stuff for other people and helping people through life.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Do you feel free though when you have to do things for other people?
Not when you have to, when you want to.
When you want to.
If you have to, then no.
Yeah, I like doing things for people.
Yeah.
Rolling. Having talked to Will and Carissa as a couple and knowing that both of them came from two very similar small town mentalities, we shared the relatability in knowing that tiny, everyone knowing what you're doing all the time business isn't good for you. Her entry into the working world at a young age helped her mature because she had to, whereas Will's experience of living with other people and coming from a different type of background has led him to know that as an independent he should support who he loves while still trying to find himself as an individual. Now I've got Jenny and Hermione coming round as a follow-up interview. Two girls and both from different backgrounds again have ended up working in the same place. Jenny, extremely worldly and very emotive in the sense that she runs a spoken word society called the House of Verse. Hermione's working in some form of acting or service. I've kind of run out of steam on this one. I need to think more about what I'm saying.
Just see if you can kind of, because you can just cut it. Hermione, you just cut it.
She was someone I didn't want in it. She's kind of got shoehorned in, or should I be like, it was a last minute replacement?
Yeah.
So much food for thought.
Yeah.
Just, I'm exceptionally lucky to be in the situation I am. I'm
lucky.
completely comfortable. Okay, I'm constantly saying I'm broke because technically I am, but at the same time, like I'm, striving to not be broke. But at the same time, I just feel like I've got so much compared to so many people. I mean, what is it? Is it 0.3% of the world have money in their pocket, food on their plate, and a roof over their head? Like, we are literally
in the
so
minority.
lucky. Wow.
Yeah.
Just basically, if you're in a situation where you're in the 0.3, then you just need to completely just live and just cherish every moment, because there's no point like dwelling on these irrelevant matters. Of like, whatever, stupid, like literally I'm gonna vomit on these pages and put them in the bin immediately, because I was thinking very toxic thoughts, which are instilled also, because I went to a girls' school. I think they're instilled even further, because they were like, 180 girls my age, that is intense. And I'm not, I was never like obsessively, oh my god, I need to look good, but there were definitely heightened moments where I was like, I need to answer to these gods of portrait and always kind of I don't know, beautify and blah blah blah, because you always look up to the other people in your year and you think, oh my god, they just look so good every day, and you wonder looking back, like, why did they put so much effort into school? I sat in my room and all of a sudden started writing. That was a huge revelation. I realised that's a way of me channeling my creativity into language, and I didn't even realise I loved language so much. But I think there are so many moments, there are moments from your childhood that probably define exactly who you are, and the revelations you've realised of little moral dilemmas or whatever, and there are moments from every person you've ever met that you've probably collected. There's moments from your slightly more adulthood, like finding the freedom, and there are moments from not living with your parents, and there are moments from literally everywhere. I don't think there's like a I think you can't put it in a box. Moments. It's too big.
I was just like, bye. Shit, like, so I
think that we should be condoned to like, mess up a bit. I think that's completely acceptable. Like, you shouldn't be told this is right and this is wrong. Like, the whole point is in the journey, and it's not about winning or losing or okay, obviously athletics probably about being the best and things like that, but different kind of thing. But at the same time, it is all about the journey. It's all about enjoying the race or the thing you're doing, and it's, I don't know, there's
because
just like so much.
It's seeing the positive in like when you think you haven't done so well. It's just like, oh well,
what can
I'm
I
still
change
alive.
to do better next time?
I'm still alive.
What have I learned?
Nothing.
Rather than what have I got wrong? Like, don't dwell on the trunks that ain't growing.
Beat yourself up and sort of down.
So Jordan, what interested you the most with the Jenny and Hermione interview?
The feminist view was brilliant in terms of they picked up on very young the pressures that girls go under, the importance of finding yourself emotionally and spiritually, for Jenny especially, and the choices they have made. They picked up on relationships again, the choices they made in relation to friends that they were following, boys that they were following, and the knock-on effects it kind of had, and how that kind of diluted or just completely perversed the course to them finding themselves as people for a long while. Well, in comparison to the next interview that I'll be doing, which is with two older skaters, Beaver and Bassie, 28 and 30, and in terms of skate culture, they're probably the most committed people that I'm going to be interviewing. Their dedication to their sport and as such to their lifestyle, they've run a successful clothing and merchandise business out of it for like 2 or 3 years now. share a flat together, both run full-time jobs. Really, they're pillars of what you could see as a mature adult standing up free in society, yet the skater as a whole is frowned upon by, you know, most as this anarchistic, you know, vandal. J.W.A. festival.
My name's Chris Williamson.
Cool.
I'm Bassie. It's actually my last name. No one ever calls me by my first name.
Fair enough, that's fine for this. And who do you represent? What are you here for?
Key Supply Company.
Cool.
A hardware company we run together, based in the UK. Hook up riders all around the country, so there's no...
Some nice things.
Nice.
Yeah, you got that plug.
Little plug. And it was like skateboarding. A skate park is like your older brother. Like, teaches you about getting your ass kicked, teaches you about women, teaches you about drugs. Like the fundamental 3 things that you need to learn. And to an extent it's true, like you can go to the skate park. I think when you're younger as well and you're so much more committed to it.
Yeah.
Like learning all of the things, you can destroy yourself like for a whole day.
Yeah, man. Well, just
Getting back up, like breaking boards, freaking
bones.
out completely, and then you do the trick and it was like that, like 1 second of like absolute like joy. Well, sometimes you could be pissed off what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You
like,
get that a lot.
Your
like,
mum,
yeah.
like when you were like, you're still skating.
Yeah.
Like
Lock that bloody thing in the shed.
when you're a kid, it's not so bad, but when you get to like 17, 18, they're like, why? Like they think it's a toy or something. Like, why are you still doing this? Like,
Skateboarding, like as a tool, it's taught me like helped me grow.
yeah, because you have to defend it so much for like a decade.
Does it make you more sure of who you are because that constant love?
Yeah, so I would say kind of like it spills over into there.
I think it's influenced a lot of other things in my life.
Like what?
What I chose to do, like college, like career-wise, like I doubt I would have gone down a creative route if I hadn't skated. Just because you've got that like interpretation of your surroundings, and you're inspired by things on a regular basis.
So the summer is when you feel less like a person. Like eating food, like drinking a couple of beers.
Arguably, you're doing more sex.
Yeah.
Sure.
When I'm out skating, definitely
More free, like, you know, you're not bothered about.
I think skating
Yeah,
makes
some
you,
money
it helps you
and
become really comfortable in who you are.
Yeah, I
Skating.
feel like, I don't know, I have more personality when I'm skating. Like, you've got that extra thing to express yourself through. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're not really, there's not much to worry about when you're skating. You're just catching a few jokes with your boys, like skating around, like you might chill and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
It's on you to pick what's going to keep you happy. Like you could change your life completely and be like, that's it. Like I'm going to quit my job and get a different job. I'm going to move and like get a mortgage and like get a new car and settle down. And sometimes you see people that you know that have done that and they're miserable.
yeah.
They're genuinely like
9
miserable.
out of 10 times.
And it's like, I'm not saying that lifestyle is bad, but it's like you don't need to rush into it. You've got your whole life.
It's not for me, bro.
It's
Being
like
progressive,
Natural
like
progression.
as a person and wanting to like, you know, if you've been in the same role for 6 months, a year or whatever, and you get into the routine of doing that, you want to try something different to keep yourself stimulated.
You're not pushing yourself, are you?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of that probably does stem from skateboarding.
Yeah. You get
Like you
that,
do move on, and you can
nervous
never.
twitch.
You just never have that. There's never a stagnant period in it.
No.
Beaver and Bassie's interview was everything I thought it would be in terms of adult freedom. They have maybe a more sure grasp than anyone else we've spoken to. However, I've just got back from a small Easter break at my hometown, and probably the last time I'll go there again for a long while. It was with my youngest friend Megan, 18, decided coming out of the local college that she didn't know what to do with herself, didn't want to go to uni, and in the 4 years I've been here has worked at a plethora of different jobs, Morrison's, Next, Salon, now has got some marketing job in Ipswich. She's chose to stay and try and get herself on her feet in a place that people find very hard to leave, and around people that we've grown up with for a long time in a mentality that won't ever change. It's going to be interesting to compare her to what everyone else has said here. Obviously growing, but I most definitely have made my views known on it in other videos previous to this, that this is, you know, a place that you don't easily escape from by any means. You're 18 now and you're happy still living around here for the moment?
I don't think it's the town that's bad. I think it's just the people and the mindset that everyone else is in that's bad.
Okay, can you go into that for me?
I think it's a lot of negativity around everyone that lives here, mainly obviously us young people.
And is that because it's a bad place for young people to grow up?
No, not at all. I think anywhere can be a good place or a bad place. I just think everyone around here has the mindset that, oh, Stone Market is so shit, I just want to get away, but the majority of people that actually get away and the ones that just settle, even if they're unhappy, I think is quite different.
So on a larger view, is it everyone's happy to complain about something being shit, but very few people are happy to do something about it?
Yeah. I think most people don't have the balls and don't have the funds or the go in them to go and move and do something completely out of the blue. They're just more happy just to
take the easy
chill,
option.
Yeah, and be where they are.
Okay, so that's interesting.
I feel like I would rather stay here. Like the flat I have is only small, but the rent is basically nothing, so I can still save, and then in the 3 years I would spend at uni, I would spend here saving, and then if I've got enough money, maybe move somewhere completely different or use the money, go and travel. Like I feel like I would have more options with money rather than if I went to uni, spent all my money and then ended up coming home and not knowing what to do with myself.
So have you got friends that have gone to uni and that have come home?
Yeah.
And have any of them done something to do with their degree?
No.
None of them?
Not that I know of.
So what would you classify that as? Is that really a successful turn, or is it just...
No, I just think it's really they've just come back and it's a waste of time.
Okay.
But then I've got friends that haven't gone to uni at all and have just gone to college for a couple of years and now live in London, work for like a massive company and have a great time. So I don't think uni can completely change what you do with your life.
Alright.
I just think it's the type of person you are. If you're willing to do it, then some people will do it. But if you're not and you're kind of lazy, like me.
Yeah. Having taken a younger's perspective into mind, someone that has been happy to stay at home and admit that they just don't know what they want, so they're kind of searching for where they're going, thought maybe the only other person that could offer a truly unbiased approach, knowing exactly where I'm coming from and still having their own opinions, would be Chris, the man that's been helping me film and edit these bits as we go along, try and further this journey into as balanced investigation as we can make it. His views, I'm not entirely sure of. Maybe that's why it's important that we talk to him, as I've only known him since he came into my year this year, September, or last year September shall I say, and since then, yeah, it could offer the perspective of someone completely neutral, but with an understanding of both sides, more than what I've given anyone else. It was long-winded, that.
No, that was good.
Well, I can say, I'm good at timekeeping. I've got, and that a degree just doesn't show you that you're talented or anything at your subject. It means jack shit. But for when you're shown employed, they don't really care if you got a degree in knitting. As long as you got a degree and you can show that you can learn at a higher level, it really does, I believe, like sort of bode in your favour. For me, before I can, I feel like I need a degree behind me now to sort of have all the bases covered when it comes to, or if that day does come, to get a job. I feel that it will help you immensely. But it's horses for courses. It depends on the person. Everybody's different. There's so many paths now. Like, we live in the 21st century and there are 1,000,001 ways to make money. And I think the problem that our generation is facing is choices. And making those choices can be really difficult when you don't even know who you are or what you like, because you've never left home, you've never gone on adventure or whatnot, you've never truly sort of dealt with, asked the very difficult question is, who am I and what am I all about?
It's definitely taken a very prominent position. That level of self-obsession, people don't think as a community anymore. It's all about how many likes I have, how many followers like me, how many people are interested in me, do I look hot, are my boobs big enough?
Why do you think that is, Jordan? Is it because, do you think people need to quantify their love?
Yes, in a sense, that's a really good way of putting it.
That's what it's all about. We love to be measured. We don't realise it, but we love to be quantified in some sort of way. Oh yes, I got 5 likes on my Instagram, a picture of my food that I had last night. Oh, that really does give me a boost. You don't act that way, but inside, it's you get a little bit of dopamine, I'd expect, from just the fact that you feel loved in some strange way. And I think that's all part of this sort of digital lifestyle that we're all leading, and it's very difficult to escape. And
or not, and it led me down so many wrong paths to who I actually was. That was like life began there.
Yeah, there, because it took you it took you further and further away from actually who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
It led you down a stray path that would end in self-consciousness, depression, because of the way in which you gain likes on Facebook, you gain likes on this, and the way your brain thinks about how it processes that, the way you see that. So yeah, I think that's a problem. 100%. That's why I created my work. Definitely, it's a big concern for me. Whether it's a generation-wide problem, that's very difficult to say because we can't go and ask them, and we could. But it would take so long to analyse all the data. But it would be interesting to know, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges our generation faces, is living in this digital age and still being a human at the end of the day. And as long as you can be happy and not harm anybody, and you can be independent, that is adult freedom.
I think the issue is a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. It started as an exploration of that rite of passage as you graduate your degree and you're expected to stand up on 2 legs, and why a lot of people choose not to. And then it turned into an attack on why I always take the comfortable choice, the financially easy choice. You can go through life being easy, it's not difficult, anyone can. So it's like, why not strive to be more? And I think that's turned into a look at society, of our country, of our culture. It's turned into a look at all of it. And in terms, someone that wants to settle, they're not a bad person by any means. Life happens. You have a kid, you become addicted to something, you find yourself looking after your ill mum, any number of things can happen. But it's somewhere between ambition and knowing who you are, a self-assurance that lets you take yourself to that next level. I think I only have this much strive because I felt all the other years before it, 20 years before it, were just a complete waste. And so I've got a reason to go more. But maybe others don't, or are still looking for that reason.